So here's the thing. This agency game is hard. Okay. Whether you like it or not, whether you're good at high level or not, there are a couple of things that have to align very, very well for you to be successful. Joel teaches some of the most latest and some of the best ideas and concepts when it comes to what works in quarter 4 of 2020. Okay. If you understand how the education side of digital marketing works, very easy to go outdated very quickly when you go through so many different ecosystem, and that's why I wanted Joel in here. And what we want to do today, our objective of today's call, one is I want Joel to kind of introduce himself. I know a ton of you don't know him like I do, and then the other thing is we want to outline what this 10-day workshop is gonna be like, right? We're gonna the 10K in 10 days workshop is what I think we're gonna call it. And what I want to do is, give the microphone over to Joel and let him have at it and why he thinks we should listen to him. It's somebody that I truly trust and I believe, and I've been through his course already and inner circle, all these different things. I know the team that's around him, and I legitimately, truly believe he's got something to offer our community. Joel, without further ado, I'm
Thank
going
you
to
so much, man.
mute myself, man. Have at it. Let's go for it.
Awesome. Guys, first things first, I want to say a huge thank you for having me on here. Super grateful to be a part of the high level community. And I think Paulson and I have prepared something really special where we are not going to hold back anything at all. And when he came to me, he's like, Joel, I have one problem that I need you to help me solve. I'm like, Paulson, what's the problem? He's like, well, I want to give everyone in the high level community a full experience that doesn't hold anything back when it comes to scaling their agency to at the very least 10K per month. And I said, okay, let me think about what that would look like and the best way to help you guys out. And I'm super excited to announce that we're teaming up to essentially do a full 10-day workshop where we are going to be doing an hour of training for a full 10 days. And the goal by the end of the 10 days is to give you guys everything that you would ever need to scale an agency to 10K a month right here and right now as of 2020. So for those of you guys that don't know me, I can go into a little introduction, but before I do, guys, I love engagement on these calls. The more that you guys engage with me, the more fun we can have together. So with that in mind, drop a 1 below in the chat. If you're in Zoom or if you're on the live, drop a 1 below in the comments. If you're excited to be here, if you're happy to be here, I truly believe that if we can all engage more and you guys are showing up, it's going to be that much easier for you guys to succeed. So with that in mind, Paulson, I don't know if you want me to talk a little bit about myself or talk a little bit about the challenge or all the above.
Yeah. So first, let's do this. I've seen your slides already, Joel, so I have a good framework of where we're going. Let's just go with this. Tell Joel, who's Joel? Like, how did you get started in this industry? Where did you come from? And I know what you've done in the last 2-3 years already, but tell us your beginning of where you came from, and then help us relate to you on what your agency is doing. And then let's go through the credibility stuff of why we should listen to you.
Yeah, so I think my first business ever was called Joel K Entertainment, and I DJ'd for weddings. That was my first ever business. I actually posted a picture of myself DJing because I don't know if people would actually believe me that I did it, but I posted it a few weeks ago. But that's where my entrepreneurial journey began. And after that, I tried a bunch of different businesses. And I was going through college, and then my father, who's an entrepreneur, begged me to get a job. He was like, Joel, please get a job for at least a few years, learn sales a little bit more, get into a client-facing position. So I was in a business working as an employee for about 3 years, and then not being able to chase after my dreams was eating me alive. And around that point in time, I met my business partner, and he was 24 years old. And when I met him, he had 5 clients for his agency. And I'm here at a marketing job, and He's over there, 24 years old, and he already has 5 clients. And he was like, Joel, I really want to tap into your marketing skills and your client-facing skills. If we hit the 10K a month mark, will you quit your job? And within a few weeks, we end up hitting 10K a month. I quit my job. And that was really the beginning of Atlas Digital, which is my digital marketing agency. We serve chiropractors. We work with about 150 chiropractors as of today, right here, right now. But what's crazy is everyone thinks that from there on, we went to scale to 7 figures. But the reality is, as soon as we hit 10K a month, the next few weeks, we went right back down to about 3K per month. And I was over there thinking, why did I leave my cushy 6-figure job where I was learning a lot, I was growing, for essentially a huge downgrade in my payday and a lot more stress, a lot more uncertainty. And after a few months of trying to crack the code when it came to how do we actually get clients and how do we actually scale this thing and build a world-class business, we ended up hitting a bunch of roadblocks. And throughout those first few months, I love to share this story. I actually applied for a few jobs.
I've seen the emails.
Yeah. I actually applied for a job. I have the email where I applied and filled out a full application, and I was ready to give up on this agency thing because, as you guys know, it's an uphill battle. It's not easy. It takes time. It takes innovation. It takes talent. It takes resources. And looking back, I tell everyone I'm so grateful that I got denied from that job, because over the course of the few months after that, we went on to scale our agency to multi-7 figures. And fast forward to now, we have about 150 active clients. We have a team in place. I have a COO that manages everything, so I'm not even involved in the day-to-day. And then fast forward to right this second, after scaling my agency, I had a lot of people reaching out to me being like, hey, Joel, how did you do it? How did you guys scale so quickly? And how did you do it without going crazy? Because as you guys know, every time you get a client, it's like starting a whole new business. And it's super overwhelming. And that's when I started my coaching program, 7-Figure Agency, where we teach people how to start and scale to the 7-figure run rate with their digital marketing agencies. And that's pretty much my story from a really high level. Obviously, there's more, and I can go into a lot of details.
There's so
that's
much
the
more.
high level.
Yeah, there's so much more to this. You know what reminds me, when you just share that, you know what it reminded me of is like about 5 years ago when I started. I remember being in some of these courses, and they would bring in a random guest that supposedly did, $100 billion on something else. And it just like, yo, I'm kind of struggling trying to get my next client today. Right. And I just have 2 clients, and that's where I'm at. I really can't relate to you when you're at 8 and 9 figures, like all these random things. Right. I remember feeling like this. So Joel, help me understand. Is it possible today for us to just simply just get to 10K, even if we don't hit the 7 figures just yet? And what are some of the things that you would say we should talk about? And then also, Joel, it's hard for Joel to kind of toot his own horn, because I know the type of guy he is. The guy has scaled well over 2 or 3 agencies into 200 to 300,000 a month, and I know that for a fact because he's shown me his Stripe accounts when I was in his program. Like, I've seen some of these numbers. Okay, and the reason
my lawyer told me to stop showing it on live recorded videos, so I stopped doing that.
Perfect. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is not for boasting purposes. It's to share with you that this is hard. It's to share with you that this journey absolutely sucks in many ways. I remember coming back to my house telling my wife, hey, I literally think I'm going to go back to a job, just like what Joel was saying. We've all been there. Joel, help us go through your current situation. What does your agency look like now, and how did you get here? And let's go over why, what the 10 days would look like.
Yeah. In terms of just to piggyback on what you just said, I think 10K a month is definitely possible. But what most people don't realize is that the journey is going to look different for everyone. For example, if you've been in sales for 10 years and then you go out and start your own agency and you've mastered the art of communication and you've faced your fear of rejection and you've faced your fear of failure and you've built habits that have allowed you to persuade people to invest into your amazing product or service, you're going to be much more set up to get to that 10K a month mark compared to someone that has never been in a client facing role and has never spoken to another person about their business and exchanging some sort of money for their service. Or for example, if you have been doing account management for another company and you have dealt with client fires and you've dealt with client issues and you've dealt through the ups and downs of being in a service role, you're going to be much more set up to succeed more quickly. Or for example, if you've worked through your mindset and really mastered the art of being a 7-figure human being and leading with confidence and moving forward, even if all the pieces aren't in place, trusting that by executing, things will come together, it's going to be a lot easier for you to scale to 10K a month very quickly compared to someone that's never worked on their mindset. They are just starting to read books. They're just starting to level up and build their entrepreneurial skills. So, of course, it's possible. Does that mean that everyone will get there at the same speed? Absolutely not. And I could sit here and lie to you guys and tell you what you want to hear. But to be honest with you guys, one of the reasons why I believe I'm one of the best coaches out there specifically for agencies is because I tell my students what they need to hear, as long as it's the right thing. And it also takes a lot of time. So when you see I scaled to 10K a month in 30 days success stories, those are probably people that have been at it for a long time. They have the resources, they have the knowledge, and they just need to plug in a few pieces to make it happen. But they have put in their sweat equity already. And it didn't just happen at the click of a button. So yes, it's possible. And my goal is to give you guys the roadmap so that you can go out and execute on your own journey and make it happen in your own way. So if you're just starting out and you've never done anything online, you've never ran a business, you're going to have the roadmap, and you're also going to know that, hey, it might take you a little bit more time. Or if you've been in business for 20 years, you've already exited for a 7-figure exit, and you've made a lot of money, and you just want to start an online agency, you're also going to have the resources to make it happen. And yes, it'll probably happen a little bit more quickly for you. But either way, my goal is to give you guys everything. So I know we're kind of ranting, Paulson, but
no, we're
just
good.
wanted to piggyback on that. And I just think it's so important because in this space specifically, where you guys are seeing results all the time, you're seeing these case studies, what you don't see is the other side. And what I like to tell my clients is that behind every win and every success story that you see, what you don't see is the sacrifice. What you don't see is the talent, the hard work, the dedication, the resources required to achieve that result. So I think before we embark on this 10K a month journey, it's just really important to know what it takes so that you guys can operate from a place of truth and knowing what it actually takes to get there. And therefore you can go out and make it happen. So.
Absolutely. Joel, one thing I do want to just add on to what you're saying is don't think because you haven't got to 10K that you're doing something wrong. You may have what it takes, right? You just may not have the right roadmap. In this sense, what we're building out for you guys and showing you is really business development. Here's a path that you should do, executing out your sales, your fulfillment, and Joel's going to really give us everything and anything you would need to get to that mark. And let's go over the slides, Joel. Let's do it. Let's just keep this conversation a bit structured. I know both of us are fairly, we can easily get into a 2-hour conversation pretty quick.
We
So
definitely can.
I don't
we have.
want to do that. So
Yeah.
let's go through your slides and just keep it structured and go through that. For those of you that have questions, okay, I know this is the surprise guest interview. This is not day one of the challenge, roadmap, workshop, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is not day one. This is the introductory conversation.
This is the announcement.
This is the announcement. This is the curriculum you're going to see the curriculum of like a good framework of what to expect. And, nobody else is going to do this for you. And I'm excited to just help you guys get through this content. So Joel, go ahead and let's dive into the slides, man, and just go through the questions. Feel free to interact, guys. Put your questions down in the chat. I really don't want it to be just a one-on-one conversation between Joel and I. I could have just done that on FaceTime. We didn't have to do Zoom for that. So feel free to chat. Feel free to ask the questions. Things like, hey, how do I pick a niche? What should I do right now in my first week as an agency owner? All these things. But Joel, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to say, guys, the stuff that I'm going to share with you guys once we officially launch this 10-day workshop are things that people have invested thousands and thousands of dollars to. And Paulson is someone that I truly care about. So when he approached me, we really were thinking, how can we make this such an unbelievable experience for you guys and really overwhelmingly over-deliver for you guys to the point where we are overwhelmed by how much we're giving away. So I really hope you guys are excited. I'm going to deliver for you guys. I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not going to hold anything back. So the least you guys could do is drop a 1 below, share your excitement with me, and show some love. Because again, I do this for a living now. I help and consult other agencies to scale. And I really just want to support you guys and help out this amazing community as a way of saying thank you for everything that not only high level, but the agency space has done for me. So with that in mind, here we go. We did have a whole presentation planned and we were going to announce it, but we kind of just jumped right in. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Joel. I help agency owners start and scale to 7 figures. Before you ever listen to me, I always want you to go over this question. Why should you listen to me? The biggest reason why, by far, is that I practice what I preach. So for example, I could be on stage here for the funnel that I processed $1 million for my coaching company, but that's not what I'm on stage for. I'm on stage for my agency funnel that processed over $1 million in relation to all the agency clients that we got through our funnel. And our agency does over 300K a month. This is only for one agency. So one agency does 300K a month in revenue. We've crossed over $3 million in sales. We have over 150 active agency clients. This is an actual client map from all of our clients being imported on Google Maps. And we have an actual team. So this is not a fly-by-night operation or just 1 or 2 freelancers. This is a full operation. We have a CEO, we have a COO, we have media buyers, we have account managers, we have salespeople. And what's really amazing, guys, is that I've been able to take everything that I've done and turn it into a repeatable process that has allowed a ton of clients to hit the 100K a month mark with their agency. Now, there's other amazing programs out there. I do believe that we've created more 100K a month students in the shortest amount of time possible than any other program out there. I might be wrong, but we have created a lot of 100K a month students with these exact same strategies and systems. But most importantly, the reason why you should listen to me above all else, it's not because of the results that I've been able to get for myself. It's not because of the results that I've been able to get other people, but it's because I've been where you are. So the reason I believe I'm one of the best coaches out there is because it was not easy for me. There have been nights where I have been up till 3 a.m. having a panic attack because I'm extremely anxious about what the next day is going to bring. And things were uncertain. And I was insecure about myself and my abilities and if this was actually going to work. it didn't come so easy to me. It didn't just click immediately. And any time where it did kind of click very quickly, it was short-lived. And it got very difficult immediately after. And I believe that's one of the biggest reasons why you should listen to me, is because I've actually been in your shoes. I've experienced fear. I've experienced insecurity. I've experienced doubt. I've wanted to give up not once, not twice, but 3 times. And most importantly, now I'm where you guys want to go. And I'm still there right now with my agency. So all the things that I teach you are not from 2 years ago. It's from what's working right now. So for example,
Joel, one of the things sorry to interrupt you, man.
No, it's all good.
That when we first talked, I told Joel, hey, listen, what I don't want is somebody to come in and teach a science class of theory on hypothesis. Like, that doesn't fit well with me, because what I need as an agency owner is practical applications of like strategy that works, emails that work, prospecting systems that work, filling up your pipelines that work, right? All these different things. I'm telling you, I spend close to, I would say $50,000 or $60,000 before I even figured out you could get courses out there, right? Before I even figured that out, I invested into a ton of courses, right? That basically gave me a bunch of theory, right? And I told Joel, on this 10-day workshop, I want practical applications, which is what I'm even more excited about. Sorry, I had to just jump in and say that.
For sure. Like, guys, in the past week, we've closed a client a day in my agency. I think if I actually pull it up, let's see here. Yesterday, we set 1, 2, 3, 4.
You have Slack notifications, huh? When clients come in for your teams?
Yeah. We set about 5 to 10 appointments a day for our agency. Yesterday, we set 7 appointments. So this is what's working right now. Not last week, but today. And I don't want to come off as egotistical or as if I'm bragging. The reason I really show you guys my results and my clients' results and share the story with you guys is because at the end of the day, once we actually begin this 10K in 10 days workshop, if you guys don't believe in what I'm teaching, even if I give you exactly what you need to do, you're not going to take action. And the hardest thing by far, above all else, as a coach, is to get people to actually do the work. So that's why I start off by going over why you should listen to me. And with that in mind, you guys already know the announcement, but we were supposed to do this presentation right from the start, but I guess we kind of jumped right into it. The announcement is we are releasing a 10-day workshop. It's called the 10K in 10 Days Roadmap. And it's a partnership between High Level and 7-Figure Agency. And the goal for the 10-day workshop is that over the 10 days that we spend together, I'm going to give you guys the exact roadmap to building a 10K a month agency. So we're going to go over, and I'm going to explain exactly what each day is going to look like. But I'm going to give you everything: the scripts, the ads, what to say on the sales call, how to get clients results, everything that you're going to need to get to 10K a month. So we already kind of gave over the warning, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. Just because we're giving you guys the 10K a month roadmap doesn't mean that it's just a button that you press and then all of a sudden you have $10,000 in your bank account. That doesn't exist. And anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you and doesn't understand business. Like I said before, it's going to take time. It's going to take hard work. For some of you guys, it'll come fast. For some of you guys, it'll take a little bit longer. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, this is still going to be an amazing experience. You're still going to grow a ton, and it's still going to be super valuable. Now, before I share the dates, I want to get an insane amount of comments in the comments below. So If you're excited, drop any comment, show some love.
Anna said, if you're going to do the work, Anna Ashmore, she said, I will do the work, right? And that's inspiring. If you're going to do the work, put a one down in the chat, right? And help engage with us. Ask the questions. This is not too much of a formal type of thing. Interact with us, just so you know. And that makes life easier for us to just deliver any kind of details that we may not even be thinking about. But Joel, tell us about what the workshop's going to be like, the roadmap's going to be like for, how did you even decide on what you're going to teach? I know there's hours and hours of stuff, but how do you concise it down to 10 days now?
That's a great question. It was actually a little harder than I was expecting, because normally in our coaching program, we have 4 months. So It's like, how do we boil it down to 10 days while still over delivering for you guys? And what we came up with was a mix of giving you guys the simplest things that will get you the greatest amount of results and removing as much complexity as humanly possible. So for example, and we're going to go over the roadmap, but just for example, I tell people all the time, one of the biggest reasons why you can't break 10K a month is because you're focused on keeping your one client, and you're giving all of your energy, all of your effort, all of your time and energy towards one client, and you forget to take care of yourself and get to the 10K a month mark. And most people think that by taking amazing care of this one client, they'll magically land 10 more. But the reality is, you have to, just like in the airplane, they tell you to put your mask on first before you put it on your son or daughter, the person next to you. You have to put on the airplane mask first. And the reason I'm going into that analogy is because we're essentially going to teach you how to do that by setting and closing appointments and landing a few clients, and getting you to realize that by putting the mask on yourself first, you're actually going to be able to help your clients so much more in the long run, because you're going to be able to breathe, metaphorically and literally. Because a lot of you guys get stuck on one client and they suck all of your energy, all of your time, all of your focus. And it's as if you're working a 9 to 5 for the one client that you have, or even worse, let's say you're at 0 clients. You spend all this time learning high level and Facebook ads and how to get clients results, but you don't even have a client. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't care about client results. You absolutely need to care, and care so much, or else this will not work. But you have to put on the mask on yourself first and learn how to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of others. And the 10 days are really focused around getting you to move in that direction, getting you to close your first few clients so that you have the resources, the time and energy to focus on getting them the best results possible with things like high level. So what does that look like? What does that look like? Here we go. And I guess we'll announce the date in just a sec.
Isn't this exciting, guys? How much more value can somebody bring to you guys, right? Like, we're gonna make sure you guys scale. That's literally what we're trying to do, right? Give us a 1. Give us a 1 in the chat if you're absolutely loving this. I want you guys to energize Joel. Like, I feel like we're too quiet, guys.
Yeah, we in Jeff Miller's group, we set the record for most amount of comments.
Oh God.
I think we did a few thousand.
Oh God. Yeah. Don't do that.
We'll do it over time. Yeah. You guys we don't have to go too crazy today. With that in mind, what does that look like? What are the 10 days going to look like? Day 1, first things first, we got to paint a picture. What does it actually look like to get to 10K a month? If you don't know where you're going, how can you get there? So day 1 is going to be a little bit more theory. I know we're not going to get into that any day after that, but the first day, just to kick us off, I'm going to paint a very clear picture in terms of what it takes to get to 10K a month, what it looks like, who you need to become as an entrepreneur, how your business needs to evolve and change. And really, we're just going to do a quick welcome, biggest mistakes that most people make, et cetera, et cetera. Day 2, we're going to talk about how to find the niche that will actually work to get to 10K a month. Day 3, we're going to help you create your offer. So we're actually going to map this out live, and we're going to help you build your offer that you can go out and sell to get to 10K. Because if you don't have an offer that people are willing to say yes to, you're not going to get to 10K.
You mean marketers can market themselves? Is that what you're saying?
No comment.
You gotta have an offer, guys.
Yeah. You have to
Keep
have an
going.
offer.
So, what about day 4?
Day 4, we're going to teach you guys how to build your prospecting list. So you can't actually schedule meetings with business owners and get booked appointments if you don't have business owners to reach out to. So day 4, we're going to teach you how to get a list of business owners in your niche to be able to reach out to schedule them and get them to sign up for your offer. Day 5, we're going to go over organic prospecting. So we're going to actually show you scripts, different systems that will help you get clients using free methods that you don't have to pay for. And then day 6, we're going to show you guys how to set up some ads to get you clients using Facebook ads. And yeah, we're going to show you live. It's not going to be theory. You're going to see everything, and we're not going to hold back. So you'll have a mix of a free method to get clients and a paid method. That way, if you have the funds and the finances to invest in the ads, you can jump right into that. If you don't, you can start with a free, or even better, you could do both at the same time. Next up, day 7, we're going to teach you how to do an intro call. So what do you actually say to the business owner once you get them on the phone? Once you actually get on the phone and you qualify them and you get to know them, how do you set up a second call to go over a whole presentation to get them to sign up? So we're going to do the demo call on day 8. And then through days, let's see. So essentially day 1 through 4 is more like foundation. Let's call this foundation, building the building blocks of a 10K a month agency. Days 5 and 6 are going to be setting appointments. Day 7 and 8 are going to be closing appointments. So how to turn those appointments into clients. And then day 9 is going to be client results. Because again, you have to care for the clients and you have to get them good results, or else it's all going to fall apart. So obviously there's so much we could teach, but we wanted to give you guys everything that you needed to get to 10K in the simplest way possible. So we're going to dedicate a day just to client results. And after that, day 10, it's going to be, Paulson and I were talking, and we want to do kind of like a graduation where once you go through the 10-day workshop, it's as if you got a certificate saying, hey, I went through this. I know what to do. I did the work. I committed to the process. So day 10 is going to be graduation. We're going to do Q&A. And we're also going to talk next steps in terms of, okay, once you hit 10K a month, what does the future look like? How do you go beyond 10K a month? So that's the roadmap. That's what we're going to cover. It's all going to be 100% free, which is crazy.
Isn't that crazy, y'all?
When Paulson came to me, he said, we're going to charge $500 for this. And then I was like, well, why don't we charge $97 for it? And then we were like, well, screw it. Why don't we just make it available for everyone? But I'm being dead serious. We were going to do this for $500 a seat.
And here's the thing, like the reason why we were thinking about charging, right, is because we wanted somebody that's coming into this ecosystem of education to take it seriously, right? In business in general, when you give something away for free, people don't value it. And I know what Joel usually charges for his coaching programs and mentorships. I promise you, some people would have to take a loan out for it, which is not a bad thing. It's worth it, right? But what I'm saying is, just because this is all free for you guys, I don't want you to please do not, be negligent on the content. Show up, take part. I know the results that come from this. I've taken part in it. Joel and I have worked together building agencies. I'm building an agency myself on top of this out of Toronto with a business partner. I'm implementing some of the things, actually mostly everything. We're doing it the Joel way. My business partner and I said, we're going to do it the Joel way, right? And the reason why is because there is a roadmap that makes sense. And I'm saying that while handling the high-level agency with 300-400 clients with a 40-member team, right? That mindset is totally different than the 10K mindset or even the 1K mindset. All this to say, do not, please do not, and I beg you, do not think this is free. There's a lot of cost to this. It's not on you guys. I want you to show
Mm.
up. I want you to show up because it took a lot to get here. I promise. It took what? Almost month and a half, 2 months of just
Well,
this
it's free for
session,
you
right?
guys, maybe not for us.
It's definitely not. We'd rather be doing appointments and demos, right, Joel? We
For
rather
sure, for
be
sure.
doing that, right? So,
My
needless to
biggest
say,
fear, I'll be honest with you guys and just be open and communicate from my heart. My biggest fear by offering this for free is that you guys will not take it as seriously
yeah,
because human psychology is weird. When people pay, they pay attention. When they pay more attention. If I asked you to give me $100,000 and then we had a consulting hour together, you would listen to everything I'm saying to you like your life depended on it. You would. Just go through that thought process. If I paid Paulson $100,000 for certain advice, everything he would tell me, I would be so much more committed to doing it. So our biggest ask of you guys is twofold. Number one, you have to show up. If you don't show up, this will not help you. Like there, again, I wish I could press a button and wire transfer a 10K a month agency to your bank account, but it doesn't work that way. So first things first, you got to show up. And then second of all, even if this is free, you guys have to take action. Like I said, the hard part is not the scripts. It's not the technical stuff. All the stuff that we're going to teach you is easy. The hard part is getting you guys to take action and committing to the process, even when it's difficult, even when it's hard, even when you have to be patient along the way. So that's all that we ask of you guys. And with that in mind, should we release the date, Paulson?
yeah, yes, please. So one more thing before I forget. I just thought about it randomly. How many of you are in this call that's already in Joel's programs? I would love for you to just unmute and just share your experience, maybe like two, three of you. And the reason why I want to do that is to just reiterate the value that Joel's bringing. Anybody that's already in Joel's program that want to just literally unmute and just share what your experience is like. Let's see. Let me look at some names.
I think I see Nigel in here. I don't know if he's
Where you at, Nigel?
live though.
Let's see.
No, we got a lot of new faces today. So
Do you?
yeah.
I thought there's gonna be a lot of people that have already been in your program. I don't see a lot of people actually. So this is even better. This is even better. But I can tell you honestly, this is
Oh, I am here. I just had to move rooms.
What's up, Nigel?
What's up, bro?
Guys?
What's your experience with 7FA, man? I know this is a high level 7FA mash, but tell us about your experience. And this wasn't even, Nigel, I haven't even talked to you about this at all. We just put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah, man. First
Do I
of all,
hold back, Nigel, when I share info?
yeah,
Do I hold back or do I give it all away?
give it away, man. That's
Nice.
your style. Of course, give it away, man. Come on.
For sure.
I've been in a lot of programs, man, and I've invested a lot of money into trying to make this thing work. But just the level of knowledge, and more than knowledge, the level of care that Joel brings is like unlike any other program that I've ever been a part of. Like, you can really tell that Joel really does care about his students. And he always says all the time, like he's not there to just tell you what you want to hear. He tells you what you need to hear. And that's an amazing attribute of any coach, right? And so Joel has knowledge, and like his program has like overwhelmed me from day one. I'm still like going kind of crazy trying to just keep up, but the amount of gratitude that I have to Joel is like more than any other coach. I've never seen a program like this ever in my life. So
yeah, Nigel,
guys are really in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Nigel, I
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
you jumping in and saying that. And I literally didn't even know you were gonna be here. So that was totally unscripted, just so you guys know. Just to
Yeah, me neither. Man.
punch.
Yo, Nigel, hit me up. I'll hook you up with a one-on-one. All right.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, we'll link up.
So Joel, tell us about what the dates are going to be like. What are some etiquette that you expect? I know I want everybody to come in with notes and pens and really the willingness to put in some sweat equity. That's what I
Yeah.
care more about than anything else. But tell us about the dates, man.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing, guys, like I said, you got to show up and take action. What does that look like? Well, if I'm willing to block out an hour a day for 10 days and I'm over here running not one, but two multiple 7-figure businesses, you have no excuse to block out the hour a day for 10 days and show up every single day. So, first things first, before we actually show the dates to you guys, my full expectation is that if you're going to show up for one day, unless you have a life emergency, you got to be there for 10 days. And I talk about this all the time. Most people aren't willing to take a step back and stop doing busy work to do the actual real work they need to do to get to the next level. So if you can't block out an hour a day to learn and to level up, you're already doing it wrong. So again, if I can do it, you definitely can do it. And in terms of etiquette, I'd say that's number one most important thing. Now, for the dates, we wanted to pick a date that just made sense. So our whole idea is, how do we end off the year on the highest note possible? So what we're going to do is we're going to launch on December 1st. We're going to launch on December 1st. And I have the schedule pulled up here. So, whoops, I think this is the wrong day. It's supposed to be Monday. So let me just do that. It's going to be Monday, December 1st, Tuesday, December. No. It's actually a Tuesday. That's why it was. It's a Tuesday. Tuesday, December 1st, Wednesday, December 2nd, Thursday, December 3rd, Friday, December 4th.
Actually, Joel, you had it right.
Yeah, I did.
You had it right. You
had
it
yeah.
right.
Cool. Then we're going to break for the weekend. So it's just going to be during the week. And I think it'll also be a healthy break. So it's also perfect because these 4 days are going to be all around building the foundation. Then the next week is all going to be around setting and closing appointments. And it's all at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Mountain time, 12 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know what it is Central. I think it's 2 p.m. Central. And we're going to close off on Monday, December 14th.
Yeah. Also, guys, during these calendar dates, I'm canceling all my sales trainings that I do for you guys on the Thursdays. And we'll also not have the Monday marketplace calls. If you have specific questions around marketplace, sales, things of that nature, book a time on my calendar and let's take those conversations outside of this training, because I want the community and the ecosystem to really dive in here. Okay. Chase Buckner is going to still do the Q&A calls on Wednesdays and things like that. Spotlights, he'll do his thing. I'm going to cancel my calls just so we're not, like, I am not overwhelming you with a ton of content, just so you know. So, just so you know, if you have questions, book a time on my calendar. During this time, I've got my calendar wide open, and we can take the conversations outside of the Facebook communities, okay? Just so you know.
Yeah, so guys, today was really just the announcement. We launch on December 1st, and it's essentially going to be Tuesday through Friday that first week, then Monday through Friday, and then Monday. Weekends we take the time off.
Sounds good. So let's talk about a couple of things before we jump off. I think we'll stay on for another 15 minutes if that's okay with you, Joel.
Yeah, no problem.
If anybody want to rapid fire and just do a quick Q&A of the 10K mindset, let's do that. You've got 15 minutes, right? I don't think we're going to go through all of those questions. So if you ask your question first, we can talk about it, right? So put it on the chat. If you have a question around the 10K mindset, what it takes to be there at a mental level, let's go through that rapid fire for maybe 15 minutes and we'll close off the call and we'll consider this the announcement. I'll take the recording. For those of you that jumped in, dude, like literally the entire call, I was admitting people just coming in even later. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go ahead and have our video editing team put it all on the YouTube channels and everywhere. So you guys are going to be able to catch the beginning of this whole call. But if you want to put down on the chat some of the questions that you may have to an agency owner that did it. Is your third agency or fourth, Joel? Second
Okay,
or third?
we've gone full circle. We've gone full circle. So we had a vision of starting multiple agencies, and we're taking a new strategy. I'll share with you guys on the last day. That way you guys have to show up.
Fair enough.
And if you don't show up days 1 through 9, I'm not gonna share it with you guys. So
right. So let's go through the first questions. Kyle, I think Kyle, you're the first one.
I love that question.
Let's see what he says. After you hit 10K, then drop back down to 3K. What changed in your mindset? And what did you do right after that when you started to move forward again? This is really relevant for me because that is the position I'm at. You know, one thing I want to appreciate, Kyle, is vulnerability and being able to be very transparent to yourself in your mirror. I compliment you for that, Kyle. That's a great question. Joel, take it away, man.
For sure. I think what most people don't realize is that it's a lot easier to scale from 10K to 100K than it is to go from 0 to 10K. And it's even harder to go from 0 to 1K. That first client is the hardest. And the analogy that I like to talk about is with Elon Musk. When he builds a rocket, he talks about getting the rocket ship to be built and then to go from 0 to 10 feet off the ground is exponentially harder than getting the rocket ship to go from 10 feet off the ground out into the atmosphere. Once it has momentum and it's going, it's so much easier to get it to the next level. So the reason that I share this is because at the beginning, before 10K a month, you need an insane amount of focus. You need an insane amount of commitment. And most importantly, you have to be all in. I talk about this all the time. You can't be a 1 foot in entrepreneur. You can't be doing multiple things. You can't be having shiny object syndrome. You really have to commit and burn the ships and go all in order to build that snowball effect to get the rocket ship off the ground. Because again, at the beginning, that's when the most amount of energy is required to move the needle. That being said, what did I do when I hit 3K a month? And how did I overcome the barrier? The answer is every single time I've had a challenge, yes, I had moments of uncertainty and insecurity and I wanted to give up. But what immediately followed that uncertainty was massive dedication to going all in. So when I hit 3K a month, instead of stepping back, I had a few days where I obviously didn't feel very well and I was anxious and uncomfortable, but then I committed. Or I'll give you another example. When I didn't get that job and I was rejected from the job, I told myself, I'm going to commit for at least 6 months no matter what. I'm going all in. I stopped applying for jobs. I stopped having that thought in the back of my mind of, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, I can go do something else. And I just went all in. Now, again, with everything that I share, it's never black or white. If you have kids and a mortgage to pay and a lot of commitments, there's context and it might look a little different for you. I think for me, I didn't have any kids. I was just married and my wife was doing fine with her career. So I had a little bit more leeway to go all in. But if you're asking me what I did personally to overcome those barriers, is I put as much energy as possible to get the rocket ship off the ground in those moments of uncertainty and discomfort. Let's see.
So the next question is, Joel, what is your morning like, dude? So I can tell you.
I just got a puppy, so my morning is different now.
Yeah, the morning today is
I just clean up poop every morning.
The morning of when we were trying to get our first client is very different than right now. I'm trying to figure out how to go from 40 team members to 50 team members, right? It's like, it's a different ball game, right?
Yeah. It's funny. Like all my mornings are right now is getting woken up by a puppy and then like rushing to take them outside. But we live on the 8th floor. So it's like this whole process. But anyways, what was my morning like? I'm going to answer it a little bit different. For most of you guys, your mornings, after you obviously take care of yourself and have some time to just get your day ready and get your day in order, like most of your time in the morning when you have the highest amount of energy should be spent on setting appointments and prospecting. So a really good balance should be from 9 to 2 p.m. or 9 to 3 p.m. You're focused on getting clients. And then in the afternoons, you're focused on getting clients results. That's how I would divide my day. And in terms of morning routine, I don't really care about a morning routine until you have your food, your sleep, and your workouts dialed in. Because you can have the best morning routine in the world and do gratitude and do breathing techniques. But if you're on 3 hours of sleep, you're still going to feel like crap. So in terms of my morning, I want to make sure that I have those 3 things in order. After that, I like to take my mornings the first hour to myself. So I'll learn something. I'll watch some videos. I'll read. I'll think. And then I get my day started around 10 a.m. That's what I do.
Yeah. I want to add something on to it because I don't know how many of you guys play basketball. Any sports people in here? Like when I was younger and I would play basketball, right? Like tournaments and stuff. I would watch like Kobe videos and Michael videos, and I'm just like delusionally just consuming content, thinking I'm gonna go do the same thing when I know I didn't practice like them. So with this workshop, if you don't practice what you learn, it kind of doesn't matter how much you prime yourself in the morning. Just so you know, this is a sweat equity play to get to 1K. I promise you. You can watch Kobe videos and Michael videos and Joel Kaplan marketing training videos all day long. But if you don't do the work, it doesn't matter what your morning routine is. I just want to add that on because I thought I'm going to shoot like those guys, but I missed almost every shot most of the time.
You know, the analogy that I like to use, guys, everyone is focused on being, let's use basketball as an example. Everyone is focused on the things that'll make them great athletes, but they forget to shoot the ball and practice the art of shooting. So you're learning, just like an athlete might be eating really well. You're consuming a lot of content, just like an athlete might be lifting weights in the gym. But if you never actually go to the basketball court and shoot 1,000 times, even if you're the best athlete in the world, you're going to suck at basketball. Yeah. And everyone here is trying to be a better athlete, and then they forget to be a great basketball player alongside their athleticism. So
I love that. Dimitri goes, how do you motivate yourself? So guys, let's see. How much time you have, Joel? You got a 5:30?
I got time.
You got time? Okay.
I blocked the rest of the day.
Nice. You're ending the day with this call?
Yep. Then I got a dog sitter today because I knew we had this interview and I was like, I don't want my little puppy barking in the background.
Nice. So keep your questions coming for maybe another couple of minutes and we'll go through this. And remember, some of these things that you guys are asking, we're going to go in great detail during the workshop, during the roadmap, right? So just want to give you guys a macro overview of some of these things. So Joel, how do you motivate yourself when your prospecting is not showing any real results? I think Dimitri's talking about his prospecting efforts not showing real results, right?
There's 2 different ways to answer this. Did your prospecting work and then it slowed down, or did it never work? If it never worked, I would be testing new things every single day until you start seeing something work. And I would invest into different programs or show up and learn as much as you can to get proven ways to prospect. Now, if it's working and it slows down, I like to look at it kind of like the S&P 500. So for example, I just pulled this up today. It's down. It's down today. But if we look at over time, it actually goes up. Most people judge their business as a whole, and they also judge their appointments, especially from paid ads. Like you see this with clients all the time. You have one day of bad leads, you have one day of bad prospecting, and you're like, oh my God, it's all falling apart. But you don't realize that ups and downs are just a part of doing business. And as long as it goes up over time, that's really all that matters. But the problem is most people are judging whether or not their prospecting or business is working off of the 1-day metric, as opposed to looking at it even over a 1-month metric. So if it's not worked at all, ever, I would test new stuff. If it was working and it slowed down, I would hang tight for a few days. If it's still not working, make a few tweaks, hang tight for a few days. If still not working, hang tight for a few days, make a few tweaks.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, Joel, I think it's day 5 and 6. We're gonna show you guys how to set up your organic channels, what kind of channels to set up. The following day, we're gonna show you how to run ads for yourself, your own agency, based on the fact that you have an offer and things like that. So sit tight on a lot of those contexts. We'll get there. Anna says, you're so correct, Joel. You totally have to be focused. Yes, absolutely, Anna. Dave says, is there a sign up link? Thanks. So, Dave, here's the thing. A lot of you that jumped into the Facebook group from the email was confused of how that went about, right? We had a trigger link that automatically opted you in, right? So you don't really see a registration page because all of you are a part of the high level opted in list already. So there's no formal like sign up here type of thing. On the Go High Level events calendar, we will have all the events. It's going to be the same exact Zoom link that we're using today, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time from December all the way through 10 days. And the 14th is a Monday. We'll have a graduation day. So there's no really formal sign up, Dave. We're just going to make sure we're live in literally all the channels and make sure you guys show up. Rudolfo goes, if your clients are not all in, would you stop working with them, Joel?
It depends. I think everyone wants like a transactional black or white answer, like do this, do that. But I think the question you should ask yourself is not that. The real question you should ask yourself is, why are they not all in? First things first, to really see what the true problem is. And number 2, can you afford to lose them? Again, if you're on your last dime and you have someone that said yes to paying you and they're paying you $1,500 a month, I would be a little bit more strict and try to keep them. If you have 100 clients, you can definitely be more flexible and let them go. I've definitely fired clients at this point, but when I was just starting out, I didn't have as much leeway. So I think a better question is, why are your clients not all in? And how come you're not taking responsibility to fix that? Because one of the biggest problems with agencies as a whole is they see themselves as a marketing company, but really you have to be a problem-solving company for your clients. And to really solve their client acquisition problems, you have to be more than a marketing company. So you have to educate them, you have to train them, you have to set expectations, and you have to do marketing. So if they're not all in, I would ask myself, why not? And what can you do as someone that's going to be more than just a marketing agency to help them be all in?
Ben goes, I love that answer, Joel, because I mean, there's so much context that you got to provide when there's a question being asked for the people to hear the answer properly. So
yeah, and I think the reality is most business owners are not good at running business. If they did, they probably wouldn't need your services. They probably already have the marketing systems in place. So the problem is most of agency owners, and I had made this mistake too, guys. The only reason I can share this with you is because I went through this, is I try to fix all their problems by just being a better marketing agency for them. But the moment I actually started being a better coach and consultant to my chiropractor clients, help them stay accountable, help them do the work, help them follow the system, gave them resources for leveling up outside of just marketing, that's when things really started to shift. So
absolutely. Ben McGrary goes, if you can go back through your journey, what is one thing you would change? Right. Let's
I'll give you guys a tactical one.
Let's talk about the 10K journey then.
I just answered this question today, but it's past 10K. I'll answer both because this one's fresh. I just told some of my 7FA clients today, I told them one of the things that I would go back and do, something that I was really good at was the onboarding call with my clients, where I was setting expectations, I was training them, I was educating them, all these things that we were talking about. And I outsourced that to an account manager. If I could go back in time, I would have actually done a group onboarding with all the chiropractors and still led it myself, because that was the thing that I was best at. And I think the big takeaway there is if you have something that you're really, really, really good at, maybe you should wait a little bit more before you delegate it. Now, what would I do different in terms of getting to 10K? I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that if you want to scale, something's got to give, either your time or money. Problem is most people don't have enough time. So the other option is to either invest into things like paid ads to get clients or into a team member to help you create more time. So if I could go back in time and speed up the process of getting to 10K faster, I would have either started paid ads right from the get-go, or I would have hired a virtual assistant to help me right out of the gates, knowing that I'm the biggest bottleneck. When you're starting out, and if it's just you are the biggest thing holding you back. And for example, let's say when we do the 10K in 10 days workshop, I tell you guys to send 100 messages to Instagram pages. And then on Wednesday, you're feeling lazy and you don't do it. You're the reason why you're not succeeding. If you have a team member that you hire and it's their job to do it, it's guaranteed to happen on Wednesday, even if you're ready to send the 100 messages or not. So if I could go back in time, I would have invested back into my business to save me time sooner by either putting it into paid ads or hiring someone like a virtual assistant to do the outreach for me.
100%. And we're going to go through those systems just when we go through the organic channels and paid ads of how to execute that out. Remember, guys, this is not going to be a theoretical science class. We're going to go through practical application, which is going to be super insightful. You're not going to find this kind of info.
I was not good at science anyways, so.
Let's see. Billy Mathis, he goes, hiring. Where do you find help for an agency? And I assume you started with the salesman, right? What do you have to say to that, Joel?
Depends why you're hiring. Are you hiring a salesman because you're packed out? Or are you hiring a salesman because you don't want to master the art of sales and commit through to the process of leveling up and getting good at it? And it feels easier and more comfortable to just hire someone to do it. And now you're just throwing money at a problem. So I'm assuming most of the time people hire salespeople to throw money at the problem instead of taking ownership and being like, okay, how can I get good at sales and master this and learn it on my own? So I would say, yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. I'm going to fast track and speed through these. I've got more questions here for you, Joel.
Sure. We can wrap. I know it take a while. We can rapid fire.
Yeah. Let's rapid fire, and you get 30 seconds per answer. How about that? Because I want to be fair.
Yeah, you gotta set some boundaries with me.
If right now you have 0 clients, is it better to focus only on one niche or take any client from any different niches? That's a pretty easy answer.
One niche.
Uno.
Done.
One niche.
I don't know why this is a question still, but
hey, Joel.
In 2030, people are going to be asking this question.
Oh yeah. I mean, every business owner asks the same thing. Should I have 10 products or one? I mean, it's a natural question to ask, guys. Don't afraid to ask the questions. Osama goes, hey, Joel,
right.
Love your mindset, man. I've been in the loop of getting 2 to 3 new clients every month, getting to 6K and then starting all over. What's your take on this in context to this 10K training?
I would ask myself, why is that vicious cycle happening over and over again? Why are you getting to, what's the number one reason why you're getting to 6K and then back down and 6K and back down? And I would put all my energy towards solving that one bottleneck. Yep.
Hey, Joel, Paulson, thanks for putting this together. I'm excited for the workshops to start. Is there anything I can start now to prepare myself? That's a good question. Anything you want them to are there anything on YouTube or anything that you should?
I mean, if you guys want to get to know me more, like, you can check me out on social media just to have more context around who I am and how I can help you and how I think about these things. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, because we're going to start at the very beginning. So
yeah. Nas goes, what would you say to clients when they say load of leads, but they suck, no answer, wrong number? By the way, thanks for this.
Great question.
The lead quality problem.
Great question. very, very simple answer, guys, that I'm going to just start recommending flat out for everyone. Call the leads yourself, or opt in to your client's funnel or lead form and see if they actually follow up. I'm fully convinced that most of you guys don't even believe in your own marketing because your clients are blaming you, and therefore you think your marketing system is wrong. Whereas 9 times out of 10, they're just bad at business and they're not doing what they need to do to get the most out of your system. So how do we get over that belief? Look, I remember way back when, and this is more than 30 seconds, but this is important. We had a moment in our agency where we were really doubting our own service and we didn't have conviction. So I said, yo, Marcos, let's call the leads ourselves and just talk to these people and pretend to be the quality assurance team. And we realized, wow, these clients of ours actually just suck at handling the leads. The leads are fine. Now, if you call all of the leads and they really do suck, some things that I would look into are things like, is your offer clear that people are opting into, or is it totally vague and they have no idea what they're signing up for? And then I would add more filters to make it harder for people to sign up. So either moving to a funnel or a survey, or adding a few steps. But you can't tell me that someone that signs up, fills out a 3-step opt-in, then fills out a 10-question survey, and then books an appointment, that you can't tell me they're not a good lead, right? So just freaking pretend to be your client and call the leads. See what happens.
Yeah, there's some secret shopping strategies. I don't want to give away Joel's secrets, but he's got a survey funnel. What is it? The survey SOP where you survey the client's leads. That was really interesting.
Yeah, there's some good stuff that you can do.
Yeah, Sergio goes, so I think we'll take maybe 2 more questions and we'll call it a day. Mainly because I don't want this video to be so big that our team's going to have a hard time uploading it. We have so much content to go through. Sergio Leon, how's it going, my man? He goes, have you found that niching down has to be around industry verticals? Like niching down, does it have to be industry verticals? I think his question could be, could we just run a Facebook ads as the industry niche, right? Is that what you mean, Sergio?
No, actually, what I mean is, so this is coming from my experience in my team, and we don't focus on one specific industry. We'd rather focus around common things that our clients have. So, and we're not only a marketing agency, we do a bunch of other stuff. So it also fits right in with our other business model. So that's kind of my concern, or what I wanted to.
Are you at 7 figures yet?
I am not.
So I believe that you can add complexity. So I'm not saying what your thought process is fine. I would just do it later on. So I would scale, because right now you're essentially building multiple companies. And again, remember the rocket ship. You have to really dedicate as much energy to getting the rocket ship off the ground. So you're dedicating it in a way that's spread out. And then it's like you have all these companies that grow a little bit. So I'll give you an example. Right now, we are just starting to offer a second service to our clients and rolling out SEO 3 years later. So
we're at like 280K or 300K or something, right? And now the second service.
I'm not saying it's, again, and guys, it's not black or white. There's people out there that are doing it, your model, but there's way more people doing it through one niche than there are people doing it through all these different services. So my whole thought is scale an offer to 7 figures before you add anything else.
I think that's fair. Let's see. There's a couple of more questions that are coming in. Carl goes, I once had a group of advisors tell me not to do anything other than my core business until I passed $1 million. It's the best advice that I didn't take until now. Wow.
Yeah. It's there's just so much power and focus, guys. Even if you're doing the same business, but you're split, your focus is split, even just the mental bandwidth of going from one to the other is insane. So anyways, I don't know if that was a question, but
No, I mean, I think it was a complimentary question to the first one, which is, comes back to the same thing. You guys have all heard it, don't chase too many rabbits at the same time, but everybody does it until they realize that's what's holding them back. Right?
I'll say this, Paulson, and maybe this is a really good note to end on, because
Yeah.
I truly believe to go from 0 to 10K, the tactics, the strategies, all that stuff, I can give you guys. But the hardest part is fixing how you approach business and your mindset and your character and your skills as an entrepreneur. And I think that the lack of focus that people have at the beginning, where they're chasing so many things at once, is because it feels safer. They feel like, okay, well, if this niche doesn't work, I have this niche. Or they feel like, okay, well, if this service doesn't work, Facebook ads, we've got websites and SEO. And they feel like that is a form of protection, but that's really an illusion, because then it prevents you from dedicating the amount of energy, time, resources, and focus necessary to really scale something. So again, I'm not saying there's people that haven't done it, but for the most part, most people are better suited focusing and going all in. What you have to also realize is when most people start their business, they do it because they're entrepreneurs. They see opportunity. They're seeing many things, but that's the person you have to kill as soon as you start the business, and you have to become the CEO. So you got to kill the entrepreneur and become the CEO if you want to grow the business. And most people stay in that entrepreneurial mindset, which got them started in the first place, got them to maybe see the opportunity of building an agency and quitting their 9-to-5. But they keep thinking that way, which is the complete opposite of how you need to think to get to the next level.
Absolutely. Guys, so just real quick, Joel, if you don't mind just pulling up your slides one more time, can we just go over the curriculum just a second, like maybe
Yeah.
2 minutes, and just review, and then we'll call it a day.
For sure. Okay.
So
the dates are going to be Tuesday, December 1st through that Friday, then the next week, all week, and then the Monday. This first section is going to be focused on the foundation. The second section is going to be focused on setting and closing appointments and client results. This section is going to be focused on just next steps and graduation. Specifically, day 1 is going from 0 to 10K. Day 2 is going to be niche selection. Day 3 is going to be offer creation. Day 4 is going to be building your prospecting list. Day 5 is going to be organic prospecting. Day 6 is going to be paid ads prospecting. Day 7, intro call. Day 8, demo call. Day 9, client results. And day 10 is going beyond 10K.
Perfect, Joel. So one more thing, I have a personal question to you, Joel. I know some of you that are in here, you're beyond 10K, right? I know that. But what I want to invite you guys that are beyond 10K, maybe you have your own employees and you have things, running and gunning. What I would say is come back to the fundamentals for a small season, right? Come back to the fundamentals to end your year off, end your Q4 off the right way. What do you have to say to those people that are beyond 10, or even, I know some of you that are well beyond 50, even 100K? It's like, Joel, what do you have to say to those guys that are, or gals that are already, just leveled up?
You know what's crazy is we talk about keeping things simple at the beginning, but it becomes even more important as complexity creep kicks in. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but when you're growing a business, naturally it gets more complicated. And the solution is to stay as simple as humanly possible as scale and complexity happens. So when I give you guys this roadmap, it's really the simplest way to get clients. And no matter what level you're at, it's just going to be a friendly reminder to keep things simple and battle that complexity creep with just a really, really, really step-by-step process. So that's probably what I would say.
Absolutely. Joel, first of all, I want to thank you for saying yes to the High Level family. For those of you that want to check out Joel's stuff, go to his YouTube channels, Facebook channels, whatever it is. Check out 7FA. That's pretty much, I kind of see it as an education institution of marketers that are top guys, in addition to Joel, that are all together teaching some great, great content. We're excited to launch the collab on this. So mark those dates, guys. Go to gohighlevel.com/events to add the Zoom links to. That's for any events that happens between myself, Chase, Sean, Robin, any one of us. Okay. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you just sticking it out and just listening to an intro. Wow. I really appreciate it, guys. So
we should hold these guys accountable. We should do some like crazy stuff. You know,
they'll hold themselves accountable as soon as they see the results, and that's, I think that'll naturally happen. And I know there's some of you that already went through your system and they've got results already. And I'm just excited to get started. So Joel, appreciate you, man. We're just excited at the High Level family for you.
Thank you so much, man. Guys, I'm super excited to be here, and we'll see you guys on December 1st.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yeah.